these past 2 days have been actually kind of cool outside for us in Florida, something we haven't seen since probably about February.
Yeah, very cool conditions across the Big Bend region. We struggled to get out of the 60s yesterday. I had to wear a jacket around campus, as did many other students, as it was just very cool across the viewing circle.
Yeah, I was one of the students too that had those jackets. I even wore jeans and it was still kind of cold. It was overcasty. I'm the type of person that likes sun and warm temperatures, not the 60s like we had yesterday in the low 70s. So I don't know about you, but you probably like the warmer weather too, right?
Yeah, it's going to warm up here across our region over the next few days, so that's some good news for warm weather lovers across the viewing circle. Now, there is some potentially some severe weather as we transition a little bit out toward the west. Around Las Vegas, there's even a tornado threat.
Yeah, there sure is, and that's actually it's not very usual for Las Vegas to have a tornado threat. They're not in the type of area to experience things like that, so it's actually kind of cool. So
yeah, very rare conditions there because their atmosphere normally isn't set up for potentially tornadic weather, but there's even a chance they could be put under a tornado watch in Las Vegas and especially the areas toward the east. But right now we'll go ahead and take it over to that overview of Malinda.
Hi, good evening. Today's highs, we were looking across the Big Bend region. We had a high of 85 today, and looking at Quincy, we have 90 degrees for today as our highs. Across the peninsula, current conditions, Tallahassee, 83 degrees. Down there back at home, 85 in Miami. Is looking to be very warm tonight. Our satellite and radar, not much going on around us in Tallahassee, but if you look over here on the southeastern coast, we have clouds, rain all throughout the south of the Florida peninsula, and the cloud cover over us is just going to hang around for the majority of the weekend. And we're looking at clouds hanging around, as I said earlier. The weekend is going to look to be really rainy, but going into next week, we will see it clearing up. And taking it back to the desk with Casey.
Thank you, Malinda. Well, Monday night was the first day of fall, but the equinox actually did not occur on Monday like a lot of us thought it did.
That's right. Actually, the equinox is occurring today here across the Big Bend region. Sunrise this morning was at 7:28, and sunset is tonight at 7:28. Equinox meaning equal days and equal nights.
Yeah, and the sunrise, actually how the sunrise is measured, the time for that is that it's when the solar disk comes over the horizon, so that's when it's measured. But sunset is measured a different way, isn't it?
Right. We're talking the sunset. It's not an exact measurement. We're talking about the entire solar disk dipping below the horizon there. With sunrise, the exact moment of the solar disk breaking the horizon.
Yeah, so what about the weather in our area? Can you tell us a little bit about that too?
Yeah, absolutely. Taking a look at those low temperatures across our region here on this Friday evening, it was very cool. Some areas, as we get into toward areas like Gaston County, getting down to 59 degrees, in fact. Very cool. Seeing 50s this time of year. Even Marietta, also sitting at a very cool 59 degrees. Now here across our metro area, we're seeing temperatures a little bit warmer, 61 degrees here in Tallahassee. Now, kind of broadening the view in terms of what's going on right now, 83 degrees is that current temperature right now here in the metro area. To the west, a little bit warmer, 85 degrees, a bit of a warm-up over yesterday. As me and Paxton were talking a little bit earlier, we struggled to get out of the 60s, at least making it into the 80s though here across much of the Big Bend region. A little bit nicer conditions, a little more sun, making temperatures a little bit warmer. Now, we are going to see more cloud cover and rain as we get later into the weekend, or even a potential for a washout on your Sunday. So it could be a bit of a rainy weekend across the Big Bend region. But in terms of those winds right now, they're even a little bit gusty at this hour as we do watch for that approaching rain from the southeast. 9 miles an hour in Bainbridge, 8 miles an hour in Quincy, 8 miles an hour in Marietta as well. Pretty gusty winds here. Now, local radar-wise, it's clear right now. That's good news. But unfortunately, that's going to change as we do see satellite and radar lighting up as we get towards central Florida. And that influence and that system's going to make its way closer toward our area. We're talking about areas around Tampa, Orlando, even in Palm Coast, that's near St. Augustine, there's a flash flood warning right now because it's significant flooding in that area just to the south of St. Augustine. Now, as we look at tonight's forecast, which we're seeing at 70 degrees, that building humidity and cloudy conditions, a nice evening across that Big Bend region, so that's some good news. But as we get into Saturday, the rain's going to build, as I say you here in the future cast. We do see a stationary front going to retrograde back up to the north. We have an easterly flow, and we'll see that there's going to be more rain showers brought in. We're going to have a low pressure get its act together here in the Gulf of Mexico, bring in some more rain here across our Big Bend region. So we'll have to watch that very closely as we get later into your Saturday across our area, and the rain threat even increases a little bit more as we get into your Sunday. We do see those rain chances and an area of rain making its way a little bit closer toward our region on your Sunday. We're looking at a potential for even 1 to 3 inches of rain. So make sure you bring those umbrellas and ponchos around the region because of that rain. But at least after this rain starts to get out, we'll start to see nicer conditions here across the region. Now tomorrow's forecast 86 degrees, overcast skies with some scattered showers around. Those rain chances increasing in that 7-day forecast as well. Rain chances getting even a little bit higher. 80% on Sunday. Temperatures going down just a little bit before they warm back up and get a little bit clearer. But to take a look at a more broader view of the weather situation in the southeast, here, Jonathan.
Yeah, there's a lot of moisture to work with, and that's really going to show up on our forecast as we head into this weekend. Everything here in green is moisture up at 30,000 feet. That's just all waiting to come back down to the earth as rainfall. Something just off the edge of the screen here is there's an upper level feature that is pushing through the Pacific Southwest that's going to push off towards the southeast and really ramp up that low pressure system that Casey was talking about just south of Louisiana, New Orleans area. And it's going to come our way as we head into the next week or so. Here's that stationary front. We've been talking about this for 5, 6, 7 days, and those rainfall totals across central Florida are really starting to rack up now. Flood advisories and warnings have been issued there, and we're starting to see a lot more moisture coming from the tropics as well, and there's going to be a boost from that upper level feature off towards the west as we head into Saturday night into Sunday. Right now across most of the southeast, mostly in the 80s, and actually there's a peak of sunshine out in Shreveport, 89 degrees, nearly 90 degrees across much of the heartland, and temperatures are going to be pretty much steady over the next couple of days because of all this cloud cover. Winds coming out of the north ahead of this storm system north at 10 miles an hour in Savannah, and then we start looking at this north at southeast at 10 miles an hour in Miami. This is that air that's going to really bring in that moisture down off the Gulf and into our area across the Panhandle, possibly 1 to 3 inches across the western parts of the Panhandle, 2 to 4 possibly in the Defuniak area, over towards Bay County and the Panama City campus. For tonight though, temperatures are going to be very warm compared to the last couple nights. This morning we were in the low 60s. Tonight we're going to be in the low 70s here in Tallahassee and across most of the I-10 corridor from here all the way out west towards the Houston area in the low 70s. Tomorrow, cloudy conditions for most of the tri-state area, 86 degrees with a couple peaks of sunshine on Saturday, and then by Sunday morning, those peaks of cloud or peaks of sunshine really aren't going to be sticking around. Again, that rainfall, if you have to pick a day to go out, it's going to have to be Saturday because that rain really kicks into high gear as we head into the Sunday afternoon forecast. Now, Paxton and Casey, you've got some more weather information for us.
We sure do. We actually have some history, some not so fun history, but it's history nonetheless. So September 25th, which actually was yesterday, Hurricane Jean hit the eastern and southern parts of Florida. And today is when it actually got to the western parts and into the Gulf of Mexico.
That's right. Hurricane Jean, it was a pretty significant storm. The deadliest hurricane, in fact, in the very busy 2004 hurricane season in the Atlantic. 3,025 people ended up dying. Now, only 4 of those were in Florida, but still a very tragic situation nonetheless.
It was, and it was also the 12th deadliest storm in the Atlantic hurricane season ever. So that just gives you the idea of how strong and dangerous this was, and also how costly as well. But for right now, we are going to hand this on over to Ulises for more on the national and a look around our nation.
Thanks, Paxton. As we look at our nation, actually let's look at the southeast tomorrow. You notice A lot of cloud cover overall. When it comes to the United States, though, you notice there's actually been a nice, a very unusual divisional shift, especially between north and south at this time of the year. As we look into those screens, you'll notice that, unfortunately, until we get our screens working, you'll notice that actually the northern portion of the country has actually been relatively hot for this time of the year. It's actually, we're seeing 80s and 90s dominating in North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming. Records are getting shattered all around in the north, while compared towards the south where the cloud cover is just dominating all around. I mean, if you're going to take I-10 from Jacksonville all the way to Los Angeles, it's going to be a cloudy ride. But let's break that even further. You notice 80 in Minneapolis, where the Twins are playing on the season begins to wrap up for baseball, 81 in Kansas City, 84 in Billings. Even 70 in Albuquerque. The north overall pretty warm and a lot sunnier. Towards the south, you notice the cloud cover dominating in Dallas at 86, a sizzling 98 in Phoenix, and even 82 in Tallahassee. When we look at that water vapor, a lot of moist air, especially over the southeastern United States, thanks to that stationary trough, which extends back into Texas. But notice a little tail end of it, which Jonathan mentioned earlier. That's that upper level low coming out of the Pacific and now affecting the southwestern United States, where they desperately need that rain. The only bad news is, even though it's affecting Arizona and Utah, it's not going to get to California as much. You notice there's actually a flash flood watch in effect till tomorrow morning from eastern California all the way into Utah. That includes the Las Vegas area, and also even a flood watch over towards Florida. The United States, you know, is very dry towards the north, a lot stormier and a lot more unsettled in the south. Let's break it down in the southwest. A couple of showers developing over Texas around the Rio Grande Valley. A little bit more towards the south, towards the northwest, though, into Arizona and New Mexico. Showers over the mountains. There's actually a flash flood warning in effect over Nogales, and that's in effect until later on this evening. As we go towards the southeast, the rain overall just continuing to pound the Sunshine State. They really just been seeing a very cloudy September overall. And as we take it even further when it comes to those airport delays, no delays overall except in Miami, 38 minutes. So just remember to call your airports for any flights going out this evening, especially in the southern tier of the United States. Tonight's lows are going to fall into the 60s, 62 Minneapolis, 55 in Billings, 54 in Denver, pretty uniform towards the northern half of the country. The 70s remain in the south, in New Orleans, and even Miami with 69 towards San Antonio, and even still the warmth at 81 in Phoenix as we approach October. Tomorrow, 90 in Dallas, 79 in Minneapolis. You notice all that sizzle in the middle of the country, a little bit of cool air in Montana at 65. Wonderful weather. And now we're going to send it over to Ian as he breaks down the local forecast.
Thank you. Today's almanac showed it was rather a warm day. We started out today with the overcast conditions, but it started out a little bit cool and gradually heated up. But temperatures for most of the area were capped by the overcast clouds. Now, if you had the sun break through, temperatures were a little bit higher. For here in Tallahassee, it was 85 degrees. You can see it's around the average mark. The low at 60. That was 5 degrees cooler than our average. So definitely a cool start to your day, but it quickly warmed up for most of the area around. Currently outside right now, 82 in Tallahassee, 83 down in St. Marks near the coast, up in, to our north, Bainbridge is at 84. So rather mild temperatures for right now, but pretty calm conditions for the most part for us currently. The dew points show that it was around kind of comfortable. It's getting close to being above 70, that area where it starts to feel a little muggy outside. 70 in St. Marks, you have 69 in Tallahassee, and 66 in Mariana, so a little bit drier there. But for the most part, we had a rather warm and humid day, and it's gradually going to get more humid as the night goes on. Currently right now 82, like I said, 65% humidity, so that humidity level will start to increase as we're going to be getting a good amount of rain coming this weekend. So if you guys are missing the rain, you're going to be getting that. Overcast conditions for right now, but the futurecast shows that we have this stationary front which has been giving most of Florida a good amount of rain throughout the day. Will be pushing up towards our north and becoming into a trough here. This trough is what is going to be giving us a good amount of rain for this weekend. This is what we are going to notice. This low to our west is going to sit pretty much right off the coast of Louisiana and West Florida, and it's going to be giving higher rain chances into Saturday. Now, the day we're going to be seeing the most rain will be Sunday. Those rain chances are going to be up there. It's going to be up to 80%. 1 to 3 inches are possible of rain as it sits pretty much right on top of us. There's going to be a good amount of rain, especially towards the coast along St. Mark's and Apalachicola area. For us here, we still should be seeing a good amount of rain. So it's going to be a washout on Sunday, unfortunately. So good thing we don't have a home football game here, or else they would be not so good conditions. Current winds show that they're generally out of the northeast as we have that stationary front, which is pretty much forcing these winds to move behind it. For tonight's forecast, building humidity, 10% chance of rain, so it's going to be a cloudy night. Temperature should be rather mild, so take advantage of this weather today as we are going to be dealing with a lot of rain in our future. Radar currently doesn't show a whole lot going on as those cloudy skies are generally dissipating. On the water, exercise caution. We have a light chop, so it's rather windy on the sea. Not the best conditions. For the beach forecast, it's going to be a good chance of rain for Saturday, so probably not the best day to go out there. And as we move into tomorrow's forecast, scatter showers, 60% chance of rain. Should be seeing rain generally late in the afternoon, but good chance of rain, 86 degrees, so it's going to be a warm and muggy afternoon. As we look at the week ahead, you can see this weekend, unfortunately, good chance for rain, and it's not going to be very good conditions to go outside. And into early this week, we are going to see a good chance of rain there. But we're going to take it back to the desk with Jonathan and Malinda.
A lot of you are probably planning to fly up to North Carolina for tomorrow's game, or at least a couple of you. And there's a lot of rain to fly through. And they're getting some new technology now that allows them to fly through those storms a little bit more safely.
Yes, the new type of radar that is going to be on airplanes, commercial airlines, will be actually help the pilots to maneuver through storms faster to avoid, the storms. Yeah. And, that'll be better on fuel. Oh, it'll be so much better for everything, yeah.
The new radar allows them, in the past, the radars were they swept back and forth, left and right. Now they're able to go up and down, so they can see storms that are above them and also below them as they fly through some of those storms.
That seems to be very convenient, especially for people who are scared of flying. They get to, go through a cruise sail if they miss the storms and everything.
Yeah, it'll be helpful this weekend with all that rain coming, and they've got to come back. This storm's not going to get out of our area anytime soon.
Anytime soon. So hopefully the team comes back safely. I mean, I know they will.
Yeah.
After that victory we have over NC State.
Yeah, now, Ulises, I know you've got a Florida forecast. What do you got for us?
Unfortunately, I really don't have that much great news unless you actually like this type of stuff. When it comes to those current conditions, you notice the most obvious thing, cloud cover is raining all around. Temperatures overall on the cool side, 70s and 80s, 83 in West Palm Beach, 75 in Tampa, and even towards Pensacola, 80 degrees. When it comes to that dew points though, they're overall on the sticky side, middle 70s, especially throughout the peninsula, 75 in Orlando, 77 in West Palm Beach, 69 in Tallahassee, and to further emphasize that, with that system that's eventually going to come towards the northeastern Gulf by Sunday, a lot of that green is showing all throughout the Sunshine State. Just that big ball of overall just that moist air, and it's going to continue to dominate all throughout the area as we go into the next 72 to even 96 hours, which is pretty much into Tuesday. You notice the satellite radar all throughout the Sunshine State. Line of showers just off the coast on the east side of the state. A couple of showers here and there trying to form just to the northwest of Key West. As we break it down, especially in the Panhandle, temperatures here were actually really cool this morning. Some areas like Crestview actually hit 55 degrees this morning, and even Defoniac Springs hit 59 degrees. So we're actually starting to begin to see some of that chill. But those temperatures now are going to begin to spike up thanks to that cloud cover, especially in those mornings. Overall, pretty pleasant in the Panhandle area. The trouble really begins just south of Daytona. Daytona has already received 17 inches of rain in this month of September. About 10 of those inches have come in just this week alone. That line of rain continues into Orlando and even further south into Tampa. As we go towards the southern half of the state, just a lot of rain overall in West Palm Beach and Miami. But the good news is that they're drying up right now. Now it's over Naples, where they actually received about close to 9 inches of rain in this month of September. Overall, not that many sunny days all throughout this 9th month, and unfortunately the news will not change as we start the first days of October. As we expand out throughout the rest of the state, one last view, rain overall dominating the middle portion of the state. Tonight, temperatures will fall to 70 degrees in Tallahassee, 71 in Jacksonville. And just a fun fact, that 73 degrees we received yesterday in Tallahassee, last time we hit 73 in September in 2001 on the same days. 78 in West Palm Beach, 77 in Miami. Tomorrow, depending how these temperatures struggle with that cloud cover and rain, we might not even see something close to this. So overall, upper 80s to 90s. We'll just see how that cloud cover and rain dominates. And now we're going to send it over to Ian, and he's going to break down our varying forecast.
Well, we're going to look around the tri-state area, and a lot of rain in the forecast. That's what we've already told you. You can see in front of us, as I move to the side, you can see in front of us we have there was a low that was pretty much, or rather a stationary cold front that has brought a good amount of rain for most of Florida throughout the day. But unfortunately for us here in northern Florida, we're going to be seeing a good amount of rain in the coming days as we have the stationary front that's going to be kind of pushing towards the east and moving north and giving us a nice little trough with a good amount of rain. Lots of rain showers are expected in your forecast for this weekend for much of the tri-state area. Areas can see a good amount of rain, up to 3 inches, especially near the coast, as we have a low that's building across off the coast of Louisiana, and it's going to be pushing a good amount of moisture into our area, up to 1 to 3 inches possible. So fair amount of rain, and this is much needed as a lot of areas around southern Georgia and northern Florida need rain. We are in rather a small drought, but if that, we need good amount of rain. So rain is welcomed here, but unfortunately it happens to be on the weekend for you. So into Sunday into Monday, you're going to be seeing a fair amount of rain. The water vapor map shows just that, all of that moisture, which is giving a good amount of rain totals for Florida. You can see off of central Florida has all that moisture, all has a good amount of rain. And off the coast, you can see this conditions here are starting to push up towards the northeast as those wind flows will be bringing those rain showers to us later on. The drought update, this is what we were talking about. It's going to be dry, it's been dry for this year. So we are needing these rains. You can see the areas with the darker colors are areas that need the rain the most. Here we're in the lighter orange, so we definitely do need rain for sure. Tonight's forecast shows 70 here in Tallahassee. As we look north, temperatures are rather in the cool. We even have 59 up in Meridian with a 63 in Montgomery, so temperatures in the 60s to our north. Here we are dealing with 69 off the west in Panama City, and with temperatures a little bit warmer in central Florida and areas south of that. So tomorrow's forecast, 86 degrees. All you see is clouds. Lots of clouds for tomorrow, warm temperatures, and a lot of rain. So most of the area in the southeast, unfortunately on game day, we'll be seeing a good amount of rain for areas all across the southeast. So good amount of rain and a good amount of clouds, unfortunately, for your weekend. And as we move on into the desk, we're going to be dealing with a good amount of information about Mars, right? Aren't we?
Yeah, the nation of India has sent up a new satellite that is now going around Mars. And that was the first picture, if we can throw it up there again for you. That's the first ever picture taken of the Martian atmosphere.
Yes, and it's India's first interplanetary mission. So this is a big deal for India right now. And as you can see up on the screen, that the atmosphere of Mars, there's not much to see. It's not as elaborate as Earth's atmosphere.
Right. They do have clouds, mainly around the poles. They're a lot thinner than they are here. And here on Earth, we have those cirrus clouds. Yes. And they kind of have the same thing on Mars.
That's kind of cool. But if we had more pictures, you would see that also you could see all the hydrogen and oxygen that's all in the atmosphere. And they got pretty good pictures of that, too.
Yeah, they found that the hydrogen molecules and the oxygen molecules are separated from each other, and that's the reason they don't have rain on Mars.
Wow, that's very interesting.
Yeah, they found that the hydrogen molecules are farther out, oxygen's a little bit closer, but still not at a level where we could breathe it with our own lungs.
So it's kind of sad. I was getting excited to, take a trip to Mars and be able to live up there, but it's
maybe one day.
Maybe one day. Hopefully in the near future. I hope I'm not like 80 or something like that.
Yeah, well, we'll get there someday. And what's interesting is they found with this new system that there are clouds. That was something they weren't completely sure of. They weren't sure if it was a lofted dust or if it was actually clouds.
Wow. Okay, now we're going to send it back out to Paxton for the local review of the weather.
Thanks, guys. Well, actually, Mars is my favorite planet, so this was a very interesting topic to hear. But right now, what's even more interesting is this weather. It is currently 82 in Tallahassee. It's mostly cloudy. These clouds are back, and the warmer temperatures are back as well. And this humidity is climbing back up there. So again, we're getting back to our typical pattern that we don't really like that much. Like I said, currently it's 82 in Tallahassee. It's around 80s around the board. So we are back into those mild temperatures. Nothing so hot though and nothing too cool, so it is working out for us right now. Satellite radar is showing that We did have a bunch of clouds earlier today, but they all started clearing up as the day progressed, which is great for us. And this allowed our temperatures to bump up a few degrees because the sun was able to peek its way through and to bring our temperatures up as compared to yesterday and Wednesday when we were really cool out there due to the overcast skies. Radar is showing that there is nothing on the board. It is absolutely clear out there. We did have a few pop-up showers in the little area of Suwannee County over there, but those went away and they cleared up. So nothing for us to worry about, and this will continue for about tonight. But as we move on into this weekend, this low system over here will be bringing in this moisture to our area. The stationary front will be pulling back north, so our moisture will be increasing as the weekend moves on, specifically into Sunday. So don't make too many plans for going outdoors because you will be rained out and you will not have fun. So try to keep everything inside. We do have this stationary front, like I said, is pulling back up north, bringing in some moisture, and we do have this trough off to the west coming into our area, bringing in a lot of rain, even into the Big Bend region, to the coast, especially over the St. George area, St. Martin's Beach, and all of that. So there will be a lot of moisture in that area, even in our area. So we're going to have about 60 to 80% chance of rain in this weekend. So it's important to have those weather radios on because there is going to be a flood watch this weekend when we have that rain, which is good. We need the rain since we are in a drought-like pattern. On the water, it's not a good day. It's going to have 2 feet waves and you're going to have a light chop. But when that rain comes, the waves are going to get a lot bigger. It's just better to do something inside, like going to the movies or something fun like that. Saturday morning market, it's going to be cool in the morning. It's going to be showers. It's going to be cloudy. So try to get out as early as you can tomorrow if you do want to go outside. And for the Capital City Bike Fest, it's going to be cool again. So make sure you have your ponchos with you because you will be needing those. For tonight, it's going to be 70. The humidity is going to be building. The moisture is going to be back. And for tomorrow, it's going to be 86 with a 60% chance of rain. And for that 7-day, you can see that the weekend has a lot of rain involved going into Monday, but it clears back up going into the middle of next week. But I'm going to send it back over to the desk for one last segment.
Thanks, Paxton. Looks like there's a lot to do this weekend here in Tully.
Yeah, I'm excited for that bike ride. I mean, I'm not going to go, but I know my friend, she likes riding her bike, so I'll pass that along.
Not going to be the best weekend to go out, but it'll be fun nonetheless.
Yes, get that morning exercise and get stick with the schedule.
It's going to be cloudy, and we're going to transition to rain starting tomorrow night into Saturday morning.
Yes, and, keep an umbrella in the car. It will be kind of chilly, but nonetheless, it will be raining, hopefully. Not too much all this weekend, but it will be.
It'll be a great weekend to watch that football from inside TV on your couch. Lazy weekend.
And Saturday and Sunday, as you can see, will be 60 and 80 degrees. It's a wet weekend, but, indoor fun this is the time to bring out all the board games and enjoy family time with the family. And throughout the week, we're going to see more rain.
And we'll have the forecast throughout the weekend on Facebook, on Twitter. Follow us on FSU Weather, everything FSU Weather here. And if you want to watch this show again, livestream.com/FSU Weather is the place to find us. And it's going to be a wet weekend, so there's going to be a lot to forecast.
Yes.
Now, we're going to have to talk about this game just a little bit. What do you think for this game this weekend?
I think we're going to win. That's it.
Go Noles.
Go Noles.